Welcome into the era of AI. Hello and welcome. Now in this lecture, I'm going to show you how you can create a lead magnet using ChatGPT. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first thing is first, I'm going to describe to ChatGPT what is it that I want to do. So I'm going to say I want to create a lead magnet ebook so emotional, right? So emotional with the story of John and how he managed to go from defeated by his illness, right, and the depressed and desperate to triumphant and successful after he discovered the solution that he implemented consistently and got amazing results. So please go ahead and make sure that you generate a great title for a book as well as a 7-paragraph outline for the book. Every paragraph or every 7 chapters, actually 7-chapter outline. Every chapter must have a two subchapters, and I'm gonna say use the hook, story, offer, make people really interested to know what will happen with John based on his struggle. Okay, and so right now I can hit enter. I could have asked ChatGPT to generate more chapters for the book, make it 10 chapters, and in any case, more chapters than that. But basically, I just said 7 chapters, 2 subchapters in every chapter, and I'm going to ask it later on to write every subchapter in and by itself. So here, now that we have the outline, what I want from you to do is, in order for us to put this book and create the book, I would like you to go into not a document, but I would like you to go into a Word file on your computer, open up a new one. Let me close this one and let me zoom out a bit. And then let's go back here. So here we have the outline. I'm not going to be copying the outline. I don't need it because we can create one later. But what I want you to do is the following. I want you to go ahead and say, now let's take it step by step. I will ask from you to generate the first 2 subchapters of the first chapter, make it quite lengthy, and make it in narrator style, make it in a way that John is narrating his inspiring story. Okay, and here and I'm going to say make it lengthy because the book must be big. And I'm going to say, and then wait for my yes to proceed to the second chapter. Because for the first chapter, it must wait for my yes to actually go ahead and proceed on to the second chapter. So here it is writing the first chapter currently. So what I would ask from you to do is to copy the first chapter, right? Copy it, right? First of all, let's just wait for it until it ends. And when it ends, we'll be able to copy this chapter into this Word document. And then we'll do the same thing for the second chapter and the third chapter and so on and so forth. So let's just wait until it finishes the first chapter. So this is the first chapter. I'm going to click copy from here and then go right back here. Then I would like you to click to paste. And then once I paste this over here, I would like you to remove the part at the bottom because that part is generally not what we need. And then go to the top and also remove these symbols remove this symbol right here. Now, you can remove subchapter number 1, but that wouldn't be necessary because we would need that. John's narrative, well, there's no need, or actually we can keep John's narrative like that. We can scroll down, and here remove this symbol like this, and then remove this part like that. And then we can take subchapter 2, we can add a bold effect to it, and we can scroll up as well. We can take subchapter number 1, we can add a bold effect to it, and we can take this one right here and change the size to about 14 and add bold effect, just to make sure that we increase the size so that we can see, we can have a pretty good time creating our book. Now, let's go ahead and generate the other subchapters. So it says, would you like me to proceed to the next chapters? Yes, I'm going to say yes. And then it's going to proceed to the second chapter, in which case I just have to wait for it to finish the second chapter. All right, so now we have the second subchapter. I can just go, or the second 2 subchapters, I can go ahead and copy them and head right back over here and Control V to paste them. Now that I pasted them, the bottom part doesn't need to be there, so I can remove it. So let me go ahead and remove that. And then let me scroll a bit to the top, and then here we have this extra part right here that I can remove, and then I can just also remove these parts, and I can scroll a bit up, and I can remove this part here, and I can just go. Now, for subchapter 2.1, let me just go ahead and copy that. I'll just make it bold, and then I'm going to scroll down here. I'll remove this part here, and I'll copy this. Also make it bold, and then scroll to the top. And basically, I'm going to take the title of the chapter, the main chapter. I'm going to have to turn it bigger, making it 14, adding bold effect. Now let's scroll down. And right now, we're just going to do the same thing for chapter number 3. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes, so that it will proceed to do chapter number 3. And in the meantime, we can read a couple of lines of the book to see if it's going to be good, right? So here, life can often feel like a delicate balancing act. One misstep and everything can come crashing down. I remember a time when I felt invincible, riding high on the waves of success. My name is John Davis, and for the most of my adult life, I believed that hard work and determination could solve any problem. I was a senior manager in a leading tech company, earning a comfortable salary that allowed me to provide a good life for my family. I had a beautiful wife, 2 wonderful children, and a house in the suburbs. From the outside, it looked like I had it all. Every morning, I woke up at 5:30, eager to start my day. I prided myself on being the first to arrive at the office and the last to leave. My work ethic was something I held dear, and it didn't go unnoticed. Promotions came steadily, and with them, increased responsibilities. I thrived under pressure and the challenges. I enjoyed the sense of accomplishment that came with meeting tight deadlines and exceeding expectations. My colleagues admired my dedication, and my family was proud of my achievements. However, as the years went by, the pressure began to mount. The tech industry is relentless, always pushing for innovation and results. The stake grew higher, and so on and so forth. And as you can see, this is really a good story. I really like it. I think this story is going to resonate because it's attractive. It's built on an attractive character using the russellbrunson.com secret method. So I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to copy all of this chapter number 3, and I'm just going to go ahead and place it right about here. And I'm just going to go ahead and delete this, and then scroll a bit to the top, a bit more, and then delete this part as well, and then also delete this part, and then double click, and then this should be bold, and then go to the top a bit more, and a bit more. And then we have subchapter 3.1. This should go bold, and then we need to remove this extra bit. And then chapter 3, this should be bold and 14 in size. There you go. Now let me remove this and scroll down to the bottom. Now, if I go down to the very bottom, let's go and generate chapter number 4. So let's go to chapter number 4. I'm going to say yes. And let's go right back to read the second chapter of the first, or the second chapter of this lead magnet. So let's scroll up. Chapter 2, where is the beginning? There it is, the depth of despair. As I navigated the aftermath of my health crisis, the emotional toll began to weigh heavily on me. The realization that my relentless pursuit of success had brought me to this point was a bitter pill to swallow. I felt a profound sense of guilt and failure Despite my physical improvements I was beginning to experience, my mind was still trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and despair. The days felt long and arduous. Each morning I forced myself out of bed, trying to muster the energy to face another day. The routines that once provided sense of purpose now felt burdensome. I was constantly battling feelings of inadequacy, questioning every decision I had made, how I'd allowed my life to spiral out of control, the stress of my job, the pressure to perform, and the constant juggling of responsibilities had left me feeling hollow and broken. By the way, I could relate to this because in my previous job before I quit to go full time as an entrepreneur, I also was like that. I was really working so hard until I crashed and I found myself with was not really a terminal disease, but it was a disease that was really difficult for me to get over. This happened to me as well. So, and it was the cause of it was stress. It was just stress. When I consulted with doctors, they said that I'm stressed a lot and I need to quit my job as soon as possible and start taking this medication to boost my metabolism and to boost my immunity. This happened to me personally. And I think it happens to a lot of people as well, right? That push themselves beyond the limit. And I think that this person here as well, that we describe in the story, is really going to catch the attention of people if they put the time to read this. Now, let's go and copy chapter number 4. And then let's just say yes for it to do chapter 5. So copy chapter 4. Let's start from the top. Up, and then let's remove this bit. Let's remove this as well. Let's take chapter 4, bold, and 14, and then let's go ahead and take this. Subchapter 2, let's also make that bold. Let's scroll down, and let's just remove this as well, and then let's make this subchapter number 4 too. Let's scroll down, right, there you go. And now let's remove that. Now let's read chapter 3 because I think we need to at least read a couple of paragraphs before we give this book away as a free lead magnet. Now here it says life has a way of presenting solution when you least expect them. Often in the most unexpected places for me. It happened during a rare evening with an old friend, Mike, and I had known each other since college. And despite the years of distance, we had always stayed in touch. He had seen me through the ups and downs of my career, and I trusted him implicitly. The evening we met at a small cafe downtown, the atmosphere was cozy, filled with the rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee. As we settled our seats, Mike immediately noticed the exhaustion etched on my face. "John, you look like you've been through the ringer," he said, his eyes filled with concern. I sighed, knowing that Mike would see through any attempts to downplay the situation. "It's been rough, Mike. Work, health, everything. It's falling apart." I admitted, feeling a sense of relief and finally voicing my struggles to someone who would understand. Mike listened, and as I recounted the events of the past few months, from the health scare to the emotional turmoil that followed, he nodded sympathetically, occasionally interjecting with a word of encouragement. All right, so he says, "John, I went through something similar a couple of years ago." He began, his voice calm and reassuring. "The stress got me, ended up in a pretty bad place, but I found something that really helped me turn things around." My curiosity piqued. I leaned forward. What was that? Mike smiled, reaching his bag, pulling a small container. "It's a special coffee add-on," he said, placing it on the table. "It's all natural, designed to boost immunity and reduce stress. I know it sounds too good to be true, but it made a huge difference for me." All right, I picked up the container, examining it closely. The label listed various ingredients which seemed unfamiliar yet promising. "How did you come across this?" I asked, intrigued. I like it. I think the way this is presented is going to have good results, especially if people read a bit more into the story. Now, let me go ahead, for instance, and take chapter 5, copy chapter 5, and then say yes for it to start writing chapter 6. So here we have chapter 5. Let's go back here. And I'm going to copy paste this over here. Now let me scroll to the very top because I want to make sure that I remove this and this. Take chapter 5, turn it 14, and bold, and then subchapter 5.1. This should go bold. And then let's scroll down, and then here, let's remove this, remove that. Let's remove this as well. Subchapter 5.2. Let's scroll down. All right, so that seems good. Now I think I'm gonna have to read chapter 4 because the story for me is interesting. Let me tell you, I think is interesting. I'm reading it. I'm having a lot of emotions about this. Now, chapter 4, the journey begins. Embarking on a journey of transformation requires more than just a decision. It demands consistency and unwavering commitment. As I delved deeper into my new routine, I realized that maintaining these changes day in and day out was crucial for the long term success. The coffee add on has become an integral a part of my morning routine. Each day, as I prepared my brew, I took a moment to reflect on my progress. It was small, quiet ritual that grounded me and reminded me of my commitment to my health and well being. The rich aroma of the coffee was comforting reminder of the positive changes I was making. This is really good. This is really, really good. I like it. Now, if we scroll down enough, let's go because we need to add chapter number 6. There you have it. So this is chapter number 6. Let's just copy chapter 6 and say yes for it to generate chapter number 7. Let's place chapter 6 here. Let's scroll up, 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 up. And then the beginning, we need to take this and make it in 14. Chapter or subchapter 6, 1. This should be bold. And I need to remove this. And then scroll down, down, down. And then I need to remove this as well. I could have kept it, but let's just do this. And then this needs to be bold, and I need to remove this excess and scroll down. Now let me read a part of chapter 5, I think, just to get some ideas about how that is going to be. Now, let's go. So chapter 5, as my journey of transformation, or as with my journey of any journey of transformation, mine was not without its share of doubts and setbacks. Despite the progress I was making, there were days when the weight of my past mistakes and the pressure of maintaining my new lifestyle felt overwhelming. These moments of doubt tested my resolve and threatened to derail my progress. Yes, I could also relate to that, especially as an entrepreneur. You doubt yourself more often than not, but you have to be strong enough to reassure yourself that you're on the wrong path, or the right path. So if you're going on the wrong path, you have to be sincere and just stop and do the right thing. Now I'm gonna just remove this. Chapter 7 should be about 14 in size as well. Subchapters 7:1, and then let's scroll down. So this is the final chapter. Now what we need is to format this book as well as add a cover to it. So I'm going to just click here, subchapter 7:2. Okay, there you go. That's it. So now let me go ahead and download or make sure that I take this book, and we need to just put it on somewhere where we can just put it. So John's story of redemption. That's what I would name it. This is a Word document. Now let's go back into Chrome. I want you to go to docs.google.com and then click on blank document right here because we want to start a blank document project. In here, the title of the book, let's see what kind of title ChatGPT has given this book. Now I'm trying to scroll as much as possible. All right, so this is From Despair to Triumph, John's Journey to Health and Happiness. Okay, so let me go ahead and copy this title. All right, let's copy it. Now let's go back here, and then let's just place it here. Right, there you go. Now what we will do is we will import by clicking here, and we will open that file that we have just created. We will upload that particular file from our computer by using the upload feature. Okay, so right now, after we added the book into Drive, what I would want you to do is I want you to go ahead and make sure that you select not chapters, but first of all, select everything, because we need to change the font from Calibri, which is the font that we imported the file with from Microsoft Word. And that's not really the font that I want to use for my book. I want a much more clearer font. So let's drag this a little bit until the final chapter. There you go. All right, let's just keep scrolling down and down. There you have it. And now let me go ahead and, instead of Calibri, I want it to be Arial. And I want to increase the size a slight bit. So I'm going to click over here to increase the size. Then what I would also want to do is I would want you to click here on line spacing, make it 1.5. And then we would add a space before and a space after paragraph. So now the book is looking good. Now what I want you to do is to follow everything I'm going to say. So scroll to the top. Now this is the chapter. So you must take the chapter and turn it into a heading number 1. And the subchapter should be a heading number 2 because it's a subchapter. It's the subchapter of chapter 1. All right? So that's how the order of things work. Subchapter 1, heading number 2. Scroll down. Chapter 2 is a heading number 1. Subchapter 2.1 is a heading number 2. And then you need to scroll down a little bit more. Subchapter 2.2 is a heading number 2. And then scroll down a little bit more. This is chapter number 3, which is heading number 1. Subchapter 3.1 is also a heading number 2. And then let's just keep scrolling down. Subchapter 3.2 is a heading number 2. And then let me scroll down and down. Chapter 4 is a heading number 1. Subchapter 4.1 is a heading number 2. And then let's scroll down. Subchapter 4.2 is a heading number 2. And similarly with chapter 5, we need to make it into a heading number 1. Subchapter 5.1, we need to make it into heading 2. And then subchapter 5.2, we need to make it into a heading number 2. And then let's keep going. Chapter 6 is heading number 1. Subchapter 6.1 is a heading number 2. And so on and so forth. So let's scroll down. Subchapter 6.2 is a heading number 2. Let's keep going. Chapter 7 is a heading number 1. Subchapter 7.1 is a heading number 2. And the final one is a heading as well. Now, for these ones, I think I didn't select them quite well. So they must also be selected and use the same font. Sorry to say that we didn't do it earlier, but I'm going to have to select everything and make sure that this is all Arial. Increase the font and also 1.5 here. Add space. There you go. And I can scroll up and now take subchapter 7.2, make it into a heading number 2, and make sure that the bottom part of your book, that there is nothing that doesn't make sense. For example, this, let's remove it, and let's remove this. That's it. So now, this is the book. It contains 36 pages. Now, at the beginning of the book, we can add a table of contents. I'm going to add a space here and click right here. And I want you to go and click on Insert. And I want you to click on Table of Contents. And I want you to select this table of contents with links because this is an ebook. So if I click right here, it's going to add table of contents with clickable links that they can click on. Now, if you think that this table of contents is not big enough, you can increase the size of it so that it's big enough and that people can see it more clearly. And you can even add a title right here, table or overview or whatever it is you want to do. Table of contents. Okay, now let me just put this chapter 1 there. Now, as far as the link is concerned, this is the hop link, my hop link from ClickBank. You'll find yours from here. So basically, your hop link, if you click, and if you have completed your profile, it'll take you here, and it will take you here with your hop link. And you can go and take that particular ClickBank hop link. And I could just go and place that at the moment when the journey begins, discovering hope, the unexpected journey. At that moment, chapter number 3, I need to find out where I can place the link. So I'm going to scroll down. Right. My curiosity peaked. Mike smiled, reached out in his bag. A smile container. It's all natural. Okay. Okay. So here I'm going to copy this. Or not copy, but I'm going to select this. And I would like you to select that and click on this insert button and then place the link to that program and apply. And then you can place the link some other places as well. So for example, in chapter 4 as well, the coffee add-on, right? You can also select this and add another link. Just don't overdo it so much. Don't overdo it. And if people are interested to click from here, they would click. So that's also another way to convert people. Now I'm going to add a space right here. And what I want from ChatGPT right now is to design a banner, right? So I'm going to say design a banner showcasing John before and after. All right. Or we could do the following. So we could go first of all to Google and we could look for some free stock images showcasing a person before and after. And then we can ask ChatGPT to generate something similar, right? So let me just go and actually, I don't need to go to Pixabay because I could just take an image, a regular image. So I think I'm going to take this image here of John. I'm just going to copy it. This is not a copyright problem because I'm not going to use this image. I'm just going to use it to get the message across. So I'm going to place the image here, and I'm going to say showcasing John before and after the discovery, and make sure that the banner is higher than the width. All right. Design something interesting. Now it would design this, okay? So it would design this, or at the same time, I could use Midjourney. So I will go to midjourney.com. An ebook cover size should be 2,560 by 1,600 pixels. So first of all, let's go to canva.com and let's get started by just placing or creating our design. 1,600 pixels in width, 2,560 in height. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So if we're going to go to canva.com, we're going to click on create a design right here. And then just going to go ahead and add the dimensions first and foremost. So I'm going to click on the custom size field. All right, come on Canva, custom size. This should be 1,600. So it's usually much higher than the width. 1,600 by 2,560. So we'll get that out of the way. We'll go and check ChatGPT's response. Well, it doesn't look good at all. I don't like it. So I'm going to revert to Midjourney. So here, now you could do this. You could say generate a realistic picture, and please, it should be viewed normally like this picture. And I want to attach the picture that I'm talking about. But I think that Midjourney is going to do a much better job at designing a cover, right? Now, let's go to Midjourney. I'm going to click on the Midjourney bot. If you don't know what Midjourney is, go to midjourney.com and you can download the Midjourney or download Discord and use Midjourney on your browser or on your computer. And it's a software specific to creating images. It is premium, which is why I have another alternative. But let's first of all start with Midjourney. I'm going to use the /describe feature. And first of all, I need an image to describe. I need the before and after image. I think this one is pretty good. So let me go ahead and use it. Or you know what? This one is even better, right? So this could do really, really well. I don't want to use the image per se. I just want to use Midjourney to describe this image because the description it's going to give me is going to be much better than my own description. And notice what's going to happen. So it's describing it right now at the moment. All right, so I uploaded another image and we have some description. Now a full body photo, So I'm going to copy this particular description here. I'm going to hit the /imagine, type in the prompt, and I'm going to add at the end a comma, hyphen, AR, 1,600 by 2,560 and hit enter. Then I'm going to take you to Leonardo AI, which is a software that can also generate images for free. You just have to describe what image you want to generate. Now, in my case, I want to generate an image showcasing a person before and after their transformation. And obviously, Midjourney is right now working on it. And I would like to introduce you to the alternative, which is Leonardo AI that can do this for free. So if I click on image generation right here, it's going to basically show me the ability to generate images. I'm going to use the photoreal model. Now let me just close. In your case, you can pretty much use any. I'm going to select the stock photography preset here. It seems that they have changed the interface. Now let me go ahead over here with the fast, I'm going to focus on quality. And then here, as far as the size is concerned, I'm going to focus on more, and I'm going to choose a specific size with a specific aspect ratio. Now, I'm going to use the legacy mode instead of the new creator mode here. As far as the size, remember that it was in terms of the width, 1,600, or let's just make it 800. Let's divide it by 2. And 2,560 is about 1,250. It's 1,280, right? So if we divide it by 2, 1,280. And then right now we can type in our prompt, and it's going to go ahead and proceed to generate the image for us. So let me just wait a second. This is going to consume a lot of tokens. And then let's check the image by Midjourney as well. So let's see this Midjourney image. You can see how the images are coming out. Well, Midjourney didn't really get it. And this is ChatGPT's response. And by the way, while those images are being generated, you can do a pretty good job of copying the title of the book. So here should go the title, which is From Despair to Happiness. And now this, I'm going to go format, clear the formatting, and this should be the title of the book. There you have it. Also, I'm going to take it and place it in the center like this. And this is how a title should be. And let's go back to Leonardo to check on the images. So I'm going to take this particular image. It looks pretty good. So I'm going to go right back here and I'm going to place it in. The goal is to just have an image of a before and after, right? It doesn't need to look extremely different from the first to the second, but it just needs to, there needs to be some kind of a difference, right? It needs to be some kind of difference in attitude. Let's edit this image. Let's click on the adjust feature and click on auto adjust to adjust the filters. And to basically go and scroll down here, I'm going to add some sharpness, some clarity, and I'm going to just name this John's cover. I'm going to download. I want to download this as a PNG because I'm not posting this book on Amazon or anything. So my goal is to just place it right here at the beginning of the book. And we're going to use it also in our funnel. We're going to use it also. I'm going to show you how. But first of all, let me click on Insert. Click on Upload from Computer. There you have it. And basically, I'm going to click to add John's cover. It's going to be added here. And then now we have our book that you can download as a PDF. It would be better off if you download it as a PDF instead of downloading it as a Word document, because PDF is the good format for an ebook. All right, so there we have it. The image is over there. Now what we need to do is we need to make sure that this, the text, which is the title of the book, needs to be placed at the center of this page. So let's try to place it at the center. Also making sure that it is always centered like this. There you go. And we have the cover, which looks good. And we're going to go ahead and carry on. So now the book is ready. Go ahead and click on download and download this as a PDF document. That's it, pretty much. And hopefully you've enjoyed this particular video, because in the next video, we're going to introduce you to how you can build a landing page, squeeze page using ConvertKit. Stay tuned for that.